What's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to Impact Wrestling Review, the show from February 15th, 2019, and this will be about Impact Uncaged review results for 2019. This is one of their special events for Impact Wrestling. So that being said, let's get right into it. Your commentators, as usual, Josh Matthews and Don Callis, and they're in Mexico City, Mexico. So the first match opened up was the Impact Knockouts Championship in Street Fight Rules. You had Tessa Blanchard, the challenger, versus Taya Valkyrie, the Impact Knockouts champion. Tessa Blanchard came out with the street clothes, and she was wearing her wrestling boot. She was wearing the Four Horsemen T-shirt, I meant to say, and she was wearing jeans. And I'm like, wow, cool. I expect them to wear street clothes. So then Taya Valkyrie comes out. She was wearing face paint, and she was wearing the T-shirt of Perros Del Mal. You know, the late great Perros Del Mal. Rest in peace to him. And as far as her pants, they look like they were leggings, but either way, whatever. But anyways, they're in the street clothes, and and we're on the way in this match. So they're having a match, pretty good match, or should I say pretty good street fight match between these two. One point, Tyler Valkyrie had a chair wrapped around her head. Tessa Blanchard did that to her, ran the ring post. And then the commentators point out, the same thing happened with Giant Impact a while back. And I said to myself, yeah. And during that time, he was taken out two weeks because of that. But because Ty Valkyrie was this happened to her in the match, she's okay after that. Whatever. Tessa Blanchard at one point took off the T-shirt of Ty Valkyrie, and the way she was wearing a sports bra. I wish she was. I wish she was wearing a sexy bra from Victoria's Secret instead. But anyways, that's just my fantasy. But Tessa Blanchard takes off the T-shirt, of Perros Del Mal, and she spits on it, and basically disrespecting the T-shirt of a legendary wrestler who unfortunately passed away back in 2015 from a freak accident from Rey Mysterio Jr. And she's showing disrespect for that. And like saying to myself, well, that means Ty Parker's got to win this match then. If she's got to get some honor in that name that Tessa Blanchard just dishonor right there. So sure enough, basically in the match you have chairs involved, a table involved. He has a kind of board there too. They're supposed to go through. It failed twice, basically. I think that wasn't meant to for them to go through it anyways. I don't know. Maybe it was supposed to, but it didn't look like it was going to. It didn't look like it was a prop anyway. It looked like it was a real thing. But Tessa Blanchard tried to spear Ty Valkyrie, do it twice. Didn't work. But I guess in a way it kind of affected Ty Valkyrie that she got crushed by Tessa Blanchard from that twice. So whatever. I can't remember if they used any other weapons in the match other than chairs, tables. But sure enough, the table was put into play, and Taya Valkyrie ends up pulling through Tessa Blanchard through a table, but the double foot stomp and get the 3 count in the win. So your winner, still Knockouts champion, Taya Valkyrie, honoring to Perros Del Mal for what Tessa Blanchard did, during the match. Take out the shirt and all that, and spin on it, basically spin on the grave, her being a heel. At least with Ace and Pepperson did this. They did it right by having Ty Valkyrie making Tessa Blanchard pay for what she did there. Unlike WWE, where they just go to do just to mock the dead, like they always fucking do. But as far as this match was, I'm not that upset that Tessa Blanchard lost because of how the match was booked, and plus there was no Gail Kim involved, no involvement of Gail Kim whatsoever, so I was okay with it. Actually, I was actually okay with Ty Valkyrie beating Tessa Blanchard after that. So good match. We get to William Mack defeating Ethan Page with the stunner. Nothing else to say about that, folks. The match wasn't that long. It was kind of short. They had and basically had no place on the card here, folks. I'm like, what was the point of having this match? But whatever. The match was okay. I thought, just okay. They did show something about Killer Cross being interviewed. Actually, it was kind of promo, not being interviewed. He's kind of promo about the main event match he's going to be in, what pertains to trying to Impact, Brian Cage, and Moose for the Impact World Championship. And he was intense for that too, by the way. Also, we see Willie Mack walk into his dressing room, and then also we see OVE, Dave and Jay Crest, walk into the dressing room that they locked in, and nothing happened later on to that. There was no to be continued. There was no meanwhile for what happened after that. Then they follow up of it. I guess we'll find out next week about it. But other than that, what was the point of that? I mean, it would make sense to how they did it, the way they would have done it, for Willie Mack to get involved with the whole thing with Sami Callihan and Rich Swann, which I'm gonna get to right now. So here we go. So we got Team AAA first being interviewed, and then later on, by Mr. Santos, by the way, and then later on, we went to Team Impact to be interviewed, and then they point out, Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards point out that even though they're working together as a team, they still have some tensions between these two after last year's feud that they had, which in my opinion, the greatest feud in pro wrestling of the year in 2018. But yeah, and then Sami Callihan said, telling Team Impact that he's got some business to take care of right now, and they go to win the World Cup. So Sami Callihan comes out. He basically talking more stories about Rich Swann and himself, about how they were this small, whatever. So now we're going that route where Sami Callihan and Rich Swann met when they were like this small, kids, whatever. And basically he wants Rich Swann to come out. So Rich Swann comes out, who's the X Division champion, and Sami Callihan tries again to have OVE. I mean, for Rich Swann to join OVE, but he basically tossed him the shirt, said, "Do the right thing and join OVE, come back home with the family." And Rich Swann rejects him by throwing it back to him, and then Sami Callihan's like, I wish you wouldn't have done that. And then also he starts attacking Rich Swann. Rich Swann fights back, and then also they start fighting on the stage. And then Sami Callihan hits the power driver to Rich Swann, and yeah, and I think he also he did it off the stage, if I'm not mistaken, off the stage onto some tables. I'm trying to remember if that's how it happened, but yeah, Sami Callihan is getting the better of Rich Swann after revealing more about Rich Swann's past. And with that being said, I think that's going to be the next feud, obviously. Since that happened, that's going to be the next feud between Sami Callihan and Rich Swann. And I think it's going to happen for this coming live pay-per-view event called Rebellion between Rich Swann and Sami Callihan. And it's probably going to have the talent on the line too, even though it's supposed to be a grudge and a feud between these two, where it pertains to. It's now we're going to try to go at each other. But we'll see how they book it though. So, all right, now we get to AAA, which features Psycho Clown, Hydro Del Vinigo, Puma King, and Aerostar versus Team Impact, which features Sami Callihan, who's way out there, Eli Drake, Eddie Edwards, still the same Eddie Edwards, not the old Eddie Edwards. Basically the same Eddie Edwards with the baseball cap backwards and all that, and he's got Kenny, he's wearing street clothes and all that. And you got Fallout Trash. And coming to this match too, this match, besides the commentators not mentioning about Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan's feud from last year, then they bring up these guys. How can these guys work together? And then not mention the feud of those two guys whatsoever, which I thought was a letdown right there. Fallout Trash was a big disappointment in this match. He was fucking trash. He was unfunny. He was not entertaining to me. But this match was under elimination rules, which I didn't know it was under elimination rules until we got to the point of this match. How did it happen? Eddie Edwards tried to miss the candlestick onto I think it was the Puma King, if I'm not mistaken. And Eddie Edwards takes away the candlestick away from Eli Drake, which Puma King, I'm assuming it was Puma King who picked up a pin on Eli Drake, and Eddie Edwards just standing there not breaking up or anything. And Eli Drake was the first guy from Team Impact to be eliminated from the match. Then also later on, we got someone from Triple A being eliminated from the match. I think it was Vinigo, and I think who eliminated him? I think it was, if I can remember, I think it was Fallout Trash, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think it was Sami Callihan. But I think it was Fallout Trash. It just shows how much I didn't care about Fallout Trash in this match. Fallout Trash got eliminated by Puma King, if I'm not mistaken. And when it happened, I was like, yeah, that was great. That was my favorite moment of the night. Fallout Trash being eliminated, because Fallout Trash is fucking trash. Sami Callihan ends up eliminating Puma King. At this point, basically, Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan were a team at this point. I think Aerostar was eliminated by Eddie Edwards, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but basically, Psycho Clown was the last guy left from Team AAA. So Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards are the last two teams of Team Impact to be left. Sami Callihan tried to pick up a win over Psycho Clown to get so he could get the glory. He could take all the credit for Team Impact winning the World Cup. And that's another thing. One of those matches gets to win the World Cup, by the way. So Psycho Clown ends up beating Sami Callihan because Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan refused to work together at this point now. And finally, the last two teams, the last two guys from the respective teams, Psycho Clown from AAA and Eddie Edwards from Team Impact. So they start having that, and we see a little teaser of the real Eddie Edwards, what pertains to Eddie Edwards, wrestling, the wrestler Eddie Edwards instead of the hardcore crazy nutcase Eddie Edwards. We saw that Eddie Edwards, what pertains to him being a wrestler, being a former world champion, and all that. And then Eli Drake comes out, and I'm like, what's going on here? So Eli Drake had the kill stick, and Eddie Edwards went for a cover onto Psycho Clown. Psycho Clown kicks out. Eddie Edwards ends up flying to the ropes, and Eli Drake hits him with a candlestick. Huh? And then Psycho Clown hits his finish move, the La Masco Draw. I think that's how you pronounce it. And gets the win. So in a way, the match itself was pretty damn good, except the fact that Fallout Trash was in the match. But Team AAA, with Psycho Clown being the last member of on that team, wins the World Cup for Team AAA. And then and after the match, I'm like saying to myself, what the fuck was the point of Eli Drake trying to get Eddie Edwards to be on his side for Team Impact to win the World Cup, and he just goes to screw over Eddie Edwards. I didn't like that at all. That made no fucking sense there. I thought the whole point that Eli Drake wanted Eddie Edwards to be on his team is that they can win the World Cup for the company, and that's not what happened there. I thought that was so fucking stupid. Why even do the storyline? I mean, obviously they're gonna have a program after that, but why couldn't you just do that? Just have them have a program instead of doing this whole teaser of Eli Drake's gonna try to get Eddie Edwards to be his team, whatever the fuck they were trying to do with that storyline. That was so fucking stupid. But the match itself was great. It was pretty good, except with Fallout Trash in there. Fallout Trash was the only thing that was not good about this match. Next we get to a segment before we get to the main event. We get to the segment Scarlett Bordeaux waking up in bed. The whole thing where people post on either Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, whatever social media that you can post it, a photo of yourself saying, "I woke up like this." That's exactly what they did with Scarlett Bordeaux here. she woke up like that on TV. She was waking up in bed and she was wearing a nice bra. I'm like, oh my god! And then I was like, look, that's besides Fallout Bar, Fallout Trash being eliminated from the match. Now I got my new moment on that night, and that's my highlight. And now Scar Bordeaux waking up in bed like that. That was awesome. All I need now is to see for Impact Wrestling to go for my idea, and that's for her to do a segment of her taking a nice hot shower, a nice hot steaming shower. Just saying. All right, main event time. Johnny Impact defends his Impact World Championship against Brian Cage, Moose, and Killer Kross in the 4-way match, Tornado Rules. Match itself, I thought it was pretty good. Moose, for the first time ever, he botches his go to hell move to Giant Impact, and what the irony of that too, right? Giant Impact, who's from Trash Town, USA, botches it, along with Moose. Killer Kross was pretty good. Killer Kross and Moose ends up getting end up having tensions with each other because of Moose, obviously. Brian Cage, he's all about being his own man. So then basically in the end, Killer Kross with the cross jacket onto Giant Impact, and then Moose goes for the figure 4 leg lock on Giant Impact, only for Brian Cage to go for the Dragon Sleeper onto Killer Kross. I thought that was pretty cool. That was a cool spot there. And then finally, we get to Brian Cage hitting the drill claw onto Killer Kross, and then Giant Impact goes for the Starship Pain onto Moose, and the referee's counting for Giant Impact for the count, and Giant Impact wins and still your Impact World Champion. And Brian Cage was upset about that, and that was it. Brian Cage still frustrated that he can't win the world title because Giant Impact was one step ahead of him. And Giant Impact is still the world champion, and I thought it was a fail. No, I'm just kidding. I would prefer Killer Kross winning the belt, but whatever. But yeah, there you go. But hey, Killer Kross was protected, and Brian Cage in a way was also protected too, where he didn't lose either, but still didn't win. Giant Impact is still the world champion. Which it was obviously Giant Impact was not going to lose that belt anyways, based on Tyler Valkyrie retaining her title against Tessa Blanchard. So there you go, and that was Impact Uncaged. Oh yeah, and Dark Alley and Su Yung had a segment, and then Rosemary's presence was being felt in that room where they were at. Whatever, fuck that shit. That was irrelevant. So talking about wrestling for Impact Uncaged, for Impact Wrestling from February 15th, 2019. 4 matches. Moment of the night is now, because it's one of the special events for Impact Wrestling, for basically a special event for what pertains to professional wrestling. It's time for me to go for the my favorite parts of Impact Wrestling, for what pertains to Impact Uncaged. So moment of the night, Scar Bordeaux woke up in bed. I woke up like this. Entrance of the night, Taya Valkyrie with the face paint, which I thought was a nice touch, and wearing the T-shirt of Perros Del Mal. Move of the night, Giant Impact's Springboard Spear, which he did that in the main event match. And I think he did it to, if I'm mistaken, to Moose, or I think it was Killer Kross. It was one of those two that he did the move to. Yeah, it was to Moose. Finish of the night, Psycho Clowns, La Magistral. And also performance of the night, Team Triple A. And match of the night, the World Cup elimination match, except for Falaba. I'm not going to include him in that one. Just because I said that match was match of the night does not mean I'm putting over Fallout trash. He was the only part of that match was fucking trash, because he was fucking trash. And my overall stream for the show, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go 7.5 out of 10. So that being said, thank you all for watching. It's Natural Born Thriller, saying peace on the streets. Take care, folks.